Hey guys, so I wanted to jump on this one because this topic is the heart of who I am and what I do here in my career. I am super excited to share this video because I know it's not often talked about, and I want to share with you guys. There was one point in my career where I thought that servicing African American clients would be the only thing that I would do my entire career. And I want to unpack that on how I became a diverse stylist. Um, I service all types of hair, from African American to Mexican to Caucasian to Vietnamese. I mean, you name it. I can style all different types of hair, and I love it. I love it. But I cannot express this enough. The journey to get here was not easy. It was not easy. And before I dive into how I got here, I want to share with you, if you are a person who have been wanting to become a diverse artist, this is going to be that video for you. Also, too, if you are a person that has been wanting to but maybe ashamed to do it or scared to do it, this is going to be the video for you. And also, if you're a person that's biased, that's not for the unity of seeing diversity expand in the industry, it's okay to not listen to this video because I'm going to really get into the depth and the detail of how we got here and how I got here, and then also how you can get there. Okay? So, first and foremost, I want to share with you guys, before I became a diverse artist, I have been in the industry since the age of 13. I've been servicing African American hair since 13. The date of this video right now, I am currently 36 years old. So all my life I've been servicing African American hair, and there was a period of my career where I had a natural hair show that specifically focused on the Black community, of me actually being able to create styles and services where they will be inspired to wear their natural hair. I did that for about 8 years, and it made such a huge impact. If you want to see more details on that, be sure to search it, Savannah's Natural Hair Extravaganza, on YouTube, and you'll be able to see all of the history that we've been able to create in Savannah, Georgia. And so I don't want to specifically focus on that. I want to stay on topic with the understanding diversity in this particular video, but I will be sure to unpack that on another day. But back to the story, I did that for about 8 years, and I also opened a natural hair salon that was located in Savannah, Georgia. And I had that salon for about 4 years before I closed it down. After I closed it down, I remember going into a period where I did not know what I was going to do, and it was led to me closing the salon down and letting go of my stylist. When I thought I was looking for a building, I was actually looking for just a booth space. It ended up leading me to just getting a booth space, and I ended up having to relocate to Pooler, Georgia, which was about 30 minutes from where I was located, and I had to rebuild my clientele because most of my clients at that time were not comfortable with moving or driving to Pooler, because it was too far. That was considered too far back then. Um, and so I found myself having to rebuild my clientele in Pula, which was a new growing city, and it was challenging, right? But what I did not notice, this was the part I did not notice, because I was so desperate in finding me a place to work. And when I relocated to the salon, I got there, finally unpacked everything, started taking clients, and I really noticed I'm the only Black girl in the salon. I never forget it. I did not notice it until I finally got situated in there. And I was like, oh, I'm the only African American person in this salon. Now, at the time, I didn't see a problem with it, but I did see that that was very different for me. That was very different for anything that I had ever experienced. And so I was willing to adapt. I was willing to grow and look and learn and do all of the things, right? And so, one thing about me, I am always learning something. I'm always taking on something. I'm always doing something, right? And so, being in that salon, I took that time to actually learn the technique that they were doing. They service every other, pretty much every other race except for African American. And so, it was almost like a good thing that I was there because it actually brought the diversity to the salon. And so one thing I noticed was when I was there, I would always watch them. I would watch them, I would ask questions, and I would actually try to get an understanding of the services that they were offering and the textures that they were providing on. And so after a bit of a time, we ran into a lot of issues. A lot of issues. And it showed me how much in this industry we have some unresolved issues that we need to face. Now, within those unresolved issues that we needed to face, what I noticed was there were a couple of things that I noticed were a big deal working there. One thing that I noticed was because not only are we different races, but we also come from different backgrounds. And so working in a salon where it was commission based and where we're talking about profit and we're talking about setting prices and we're talking about duration, we're talking about all of the things that is needed and necessary for the industry. And what I noticed was, I absolutely noticed how being in the industry, how we have been segregated for so long that it became complicated when we tried to come together because there were conversations that were challenging. There were terminology that were the same in different ways, but we didn't understand. We were speaking the same language, just different terms. There were just so many unnecessary things happening that caused so much complication. But it took for me to mature and rise above what was like so low level thinking, right? It took for me to recognize, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for us to figure this out so that we can actually work together. So that's the mature part that I had to discover when I faced that hardship, was that either we can argue about who's right and who's wrong, or what's right and what's not right, or we can come together and create a solution so that this can actually work. And that is number one, the key thing that I'm going to tell you about diversity. You must find a solution to create something that works for everyone. You must not think that one person, one race, one age, diversity is not even just race. Diversity is also age. Diversity is also culture. Diversity can be in so many different shapes, sizes, and it's just making sure that there is inclusiveness when it comes to the entire salon. And when you talk about leadership, when you talk about setting goals, when you talk about making profit and doing things as a whole in the salon, you must consider everyone, right? And so that was one of the things that I noticed. And it takes, I think it takes for it to, in order to actually be a diverse artist, there had to be a change of heart when it came to me. One thing I noticed through my healing process, going through that salon, it healed me to see things in a different perspective. Before, I had this defense type of mentality. I felt like I had to defend myself because of my color. I felt like I had to pretty much, I was very defensive, like I had to prove who I was. And the part that healed me was not, it was not that they chose me, or they accepted me, or any of that. The part that healed me is that I had to go back to rely on who God said I am. I had to heal by facing and relearning my identity in Christ and who He have already called me to be, and know that is who I am. And every time I went to work, I had to stand and operate in such. Meaning, I didn't have to defend who I was because they didn't know or understand who I was. I didn't have to try to always feel as if I was right when it came to certain circumstances. If they take it, I got to a point, if they take it or they leave it, it's up to them, And so it just got to that place where I had to really get in a place of security, confidence, and trust, and reliant on God for things that I was looking for, accepting for in the workplace. And the moment that happened, things shift for me. That's when I was able to walk into my purpose as a diverse stylist. And to be honest, y'all, it was very hard. It was very hard. There were many times I would cry. I would go home and cry because there were times where I felt like I wasn't accepted. There were times where I saw the bigger picture and they didn't. Or there was time where it was very silent. It was the elephant in the room, and it's very silent, and there were fake laughs, and there were all of the things. And so I wanted to create, I noticed that because I went through that, I ended up having a change of heart, and God allowed me to create something that was pure, that was honest, that was different from what I experienced. And so that's the thing about pain. Pain can break you or it can make you. And I decided to let it make me. I decided to let it build me and be able to create something that is different. And so this is how we got here. My focus as an educator is to provide that space for you to be able to provide a service where you can love all people, where you can serve all people, where race doesn't matter. We're so focused on the texture of the hair, we don't care about what the race is, There's this thing, I love it because what I'm doing is so different and it's so unique. And when people explain what I do, I love to hear how they explain it because it's something unique that they haven't seen. And it doesn't matter who you serve, long as the money is green. That's all that matters. Long as the money is green, it doesn't matter what texture, race, or anything there is. I believe that God is calling us to a place of unity. And I want to share with you the beauty behind this all is that even when servicing all of these different clients, one of the things that I've noticed is such an amazing experience when clients may not even know who I am, and I get to provide that different experience for them. I would travel into home, and it's so amazing. The look on their faces when I show up and they see that I'm a black girl, I'm an African American, and it doesn't bother me, but I can see the faces of being shocked, of them coming in and they see that I'm African American, and there can be some insecurities there, or there can be some worries there, or there can be some challenges there. And so the key of it all is building that relationship of trust where clients will know that it has nothing to do with race, but it has everything to do with making sure I serve well. And that's what it's all about. So I'm going to show you how you can become a diverse stylist. But this is my story. This is the journey that I have went through. This is, and honestly, I'm going to be honest. I have serviced some people and they have not been satisfied. And I had to get to a place of peace with that too. Um, and sometimes I don't think it had to do with much of what had happened or how the service, was provided, but sometimes it could just be just how people are. And that was something that I had to grow through as well, learning how to be okay when you serve well and done the best that you can. You cannot please everyone, okay? So, I'm going to go through and I'm going to share with you the framework on how you can become a diverse stylist.